Hi there, welcome back. This session I want to talk about upper and lower arm. We're gonna analyze the forms and the shapes that are really important here. And after that, I'm gonna add other information like overlaps, wrapping lines, and other things that will help us to create the forms correctly. So right now I want to draw the upper and lower arm in front view like this. And let's just, before getting started, see the process of drawing the arm. First of all, we need to draw the gesture. And the movement, the main movement of the arm is a curve like this. So it's not straight and symmetrical. So that's not what we are looking for. Instead, I just want to tell you and illustrate you that if you're looking for creating a fluid design like this, you need to look for asymmetrical forms and shapes like this. So here's one curve in this part, the other one a bit lower, and then it continues, right? So let me just finish this drawing here. Here's the arm in front view, as I said. Here's the pectoralis major, the chest, and clavicle. The forms we have that are crucial is deltoid first, this convex form, and after that we have the form of biceps and brachialis. On the other part you can see the rhythm in the arm, and after that the zigzag shape that we have here. So it's how it moves, and then ridge muscles, another curve. We have another one just a bit lower than the ridge muscle, so you see they are not in front of each other and they are not creating a symmetrical design like this. Instead we have one line on the top and another one in a lower position that will create this movement, a zigzag movement like this. And finally you will have a flow like this. That's the same thing that happens in water, for example. If you look at the nature, we see the same movement, so human body is not an exception here. So here we are somehow at the wrist, and then I need to add the hand and palm of the hand. Right now I just don't want to focus too much on drawing and rendering forms. I just want to show you the important and simple shapes. So that's how you can use this rhythm and all these curves to construct the structure of the arm, the upper and lower arm. And now if you want to draw the arm in back view, certainly we need to take a look at the way the scapula is standing here and its connection between deltoid and other muscles. As I said before, here we are not concerned about muscles too much. We just want to learn simple shapes and forms that will help us to just draw in a clear way. So the flow is the most important thing that you need to consider while you're drawing. And after that you can construct on top of these flow other shapes. So first you need to think about the gesture, the movement inside the body. So when I say gesture, I'm not talking about contour lines like this. I'm not really worried about these lines, the contour line. I'm thinking about the interior movement of the body, which is this flow that will create this beautiful movement. And after that, I will look for these lines, these curves that will create this rhythm. Again, deltoid, triceps here on the back, and then again ridge muscle, the elbow, you can see that this curve is lower than the other one, so it doesn't block our eyes. And it will help us to move downward and to see other parts down there. And at the end we have the form of the hand. Here's another important thing that you need to learn, which is this curve, this S curve. That's the line that the ulna bone here creates. So it's kind of landmarked. And beside that we have this muscle, flexor muscles. And at the other hand we have extensor muscles. So putting all together, we would have a shape and form like this. So from elbow till the wrist, you can see this line. It's not straight, but it has a curve to it, so be careful about it. And then, here we go. Now I can add the hand finally. Now let's add other details maybe that are helpful to give more information to the viewer. For example, we can add this line on the back view for deltoid, and then another bump here, right here for teres major muscle, that's on the scapula. Let's work on the arms on side view. For orienting ourselves, let's just show a bit of neck and rib cage, and after that I will work on arm, upper arm and lower arm. Here we have pectoralis major. Since they are interconnected with each other, so I need to also take a look at other parts and see how they connect to other forms. This line I'm drawing here is the line of deltoid, and as I said before in the landmark session, we have clavicle right here, and then scapula, which is here. So that's quite crucial to know the anatomy of this part, the shoulder joint especially, And then on top of that we can add these forms. Basically, deltoid has a triangular, but a more, let's say, softer triangular shape like this with curves, or we can say an oval shape. And then it moves around, it turns around the bone like this. So at the end, it has a kind of curve to it. It's not just a simple triangle. It comes downward and then it turns around like this. So that's the simple shape of deltoid. And now let's talk about the gesture of the arm. In side view, the flow and rhythm we can see is something like this. Here is the gesture. Then the anterior part of deltoid is higher, and inferior part of it is lower. So we have this angle too. And then you can see that it's in contrast with the neck, with the angle that we have in the neck. So as you see, again, it's attributing to the rhythm and movement and flow of the body. Because if they had the same direction, like this, then we would have a kind of rigid body without balance. And that would be a problem. So as you can see, the deltoid has this diagonal direction into it, this transversal diagonal shape. And in this part, you can draw this simple shape like this. So we have this form plus this. And now it's important how to connect them together. In the middle of the arm, we have ridge muscles that will create a curve, S-curve like this. That will come through and downward. And right here we have elbow. And beneath that we have flexor muscles. So now you can see how knowing these important rhythms help us to draw correctly and to create these important movements and rhythm in the body. The other line I just talked about was this landmark here that starts with elbow and finishes right here on the wrist, or the ulna bone. Here we have the thumb. Now let's work a bit on torso. Okay, now you can feel the flow and rhythm in the body. Another important thing that we need to talk about is pronation and how we move, lock here the lower arm, and we do this action, the pronation and supination. So let's take a look here and see how we can draw arms in this situation. So first, I draw the normal position of the arms, which is supination. And after that I will add the pronation to it, and I will show you how it works. So supination basically is when we have this form like this. You can see the palm of the hand and fingers. In this direction. But the problem is when you want to just turn around the wrist and when it moves. We have a lot of muscles. For example, we have flexor muscles right here that come through and go toward the palm of the hand, and also ridge muscle that is here, and after that extensor muscles. So it makes it difficult to really understand how they work together, how we can move the hand and lower arm. So let me draw here for you. So let's see when the lower arm pronates what happens and how we can just show it clearly. So again, here's the upper arm. The important thing that happens is the movement, this movement like this cross that we have. The ridge muscles, they will go toward the thumb, and on the other hand, the flexor muscles and extensor muscles, they will go toward the pinky finger or toward the ulna. And here's the wrist. So I'm drawing the arm in perspective, so that's why I'm drawing it shorter than usual. And here's the thumb. And other fingers. So now you can see what happens when you want to draw pronation. We have these important overlaps between ridge muscle and extensor muscles like this. And on this part, we have this line coming through, and after that, here's a landmark, a pointy part of the bone that it sticks out, and after that, here's the flexor muscles that will go toward the palm of the hand. So let me just color these parts to show you better. And here we have ridge muscles. So the only thing that we need to maybe look here is wrapping line. You need to learn these movements, the volumes also. You see the way they change, and then you need to memorize them. And here's the zigzag movement I was talking about. Look at the deltoid, it comes down, then we have the ridge muscle, and these points are the peak points of the curves that are really important in drawing. So they will create this zigzag movement, and the result would be the flow, and also it adds beauty to our drawing. So that was all about upper and lower arm. I hope you enjoyed this session. See you next week. Thank you.